Snowflakes stung against my cheeks like tiny shards of ice. The forest was silent, too silent. Not even the wind dared to move the branches. No birds, no crunch of deer hooves. Only the sound of my own heartbeat, pounding so loudly I could feel it behind my ears. Ba dump, ba dump, ba dump, like a frantic drum trying to warn me. Run. But my legs were numb, my fingers stiff, and the rope around my wrists burned where I had struggled against it. I never should have followed those men. I never should have trusted them. They promised help, promised safety, promised shelter from the blizzard. Instead, they dragged me deeper into the forbidden territory, the land local villagers whispered about at night, the land ruled by wolves. Not ordinary wolves, the wolves of the north. Huge, intelligent, and ruthless. Legends said they didn't just hunt animals. They hunted people. The men who captured me laughed as they walked ahead, tired of dragging me through the knee-high snow. One of them turned, grinning with rotten teeth. Leave her here. Either the cold kills her, or the wolves do. Another man kicked me hard in the ribs. She's useless. No family. No name. No one will look for her. I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood. They didn't know my name, because I didn't give it. Because names make you traceable. I should have screamed. I should have begged. But I was tired of begging. Tired of being invisible. Tired of being unwanted. I watched them walk away, fading into the storm. Their footsteps sank deep into the snow, and then, they were gone. Silence again. Only my breath, broken and uneven. White fog with each exhale. I curled my knees to my chest, trying to stay warm, but every bone in my body felt frozen. The rope digging into my wrists was cutting my skin, slowly bleeding. I can't die here. I refused to be another forgotten girl lost to the forest. I fought the rope, twisting it, trying to slip a wrist through. Nothing. My fingers were turning purple. Panic crawled up my throat. No. Think. Breathe. I leaned against a broken tree stump and rubbed the rope against the jagged bark. The fibers tore slowly, painfully, scraping my skin raw. My heart was beating faster. I could almost taste freedom. Until, crunch, I froze. That sound did not come from me. Crunch, crunch, footsteps. But not human. Heavier. Slower. Purposeful. I swallowed hard and slowly lifted my head. Between the trees, I saw them. Pairs of eyes. Yellow. Silver. Glowing like molten metal. Wolves. Not one. Not two. Not even 3. 7. Forming a circle around me, their fur coated with snow, breaths heavy and visible in the freezing air. Their bodies were massive, larger than any wolf I had ever seen. Powerful shoulders, thick winter coats, muscles rippling beneath every careful step. My throat tightened. I wanted to scream, but no sound escaped. One of the wolves moved closer, fur white like fresh snow, paws silent against the ground. Its stare was sharp, intelligent, hungry. A growl vibrated through the cold air. My heart sank. They weren't just hunting me. They were studying me, determining the best way to kill me. Another wolf crept closer, lips curling back, showing long white fangs dripping saliva. My instincts screamed, run, now. I stumbled back, rope still half cut, hands mangled with blood, but I forced myself to stand. My legs trembled so violently I nearly collapsed. The wolves tightened the circle. They moved in sync, silent, graceful, and terrifying. My breath broke into icy clouds as I whispered, please, not like this. The largest wolf crouched low, ready to pounce, and that was the moment. Everything changed. A sound tore through the forest like thunder. A roar. Not human, not animal, something more. The wolves froze, ears flat, bodies lowered in submission. From the shadowed darkness between the trees, he appeared. A wolf. No, a beast, larger than all the others. His fur was silver white like moonlit steel, eyes glowing a deep royal blue that didn't just look at me. They read me, measured my soul. Every other wolf lowered their head. But he did not. He walked straight toward me, slow, powerful, muscles shifting beneath his massive frame. The cold no longer existed. The rope no longer mattered. Only him. He stopped just inches away from me. I could feel the heat of his breath. His eyes held something I did not expect. Recognition. He leaned closer, nose brushing my cheek, inhaling my scent. And then, he turned to the other wolves and growled, a sound filled with authority so absolute that every wolf instantly backed away. Not just fear, obedience. He stepped in front of me, shielding me with his massive body. And then, I swear, I felt the words rather than heard them. She is mine. The forest fell silent. The other wolves shrank back, their ears flat, their eyes lowered to the snow. They feared him, or maybe, they worshipped him. The alpha stood between them and me, like a wall of muscle and fur. My pulse pounded in my ears. My body trembled uncontrollably. I couldn't decide whether I wanted to run, or reach out and touch him. He turned his head slightly, and I felt his gaze, powerful and piercing, even without direct eye contact. His presence was overwhelming, protective, dominant, claiming. The wolves circled a few feet away, no longer advancing yet still watching, waiting. Waiting for a command. My breath hitched. His massive paw stepped forward, snow-crunching the sheer weight of him. He lowered his head toward my wrists. I flinched. But instead of biting, he gently pressed his muzzle against the rope binding my hands. Warm breath touched my frozen skin. Without warning, snap, his powerful jaws clamped down on the rope. Not on me. Not even a graze. Precision. The rope fell away, severed like it was nothing. My wrists burned from the sudden freedom. I stumbled, dizzy, my knees buckling. He nudged me upright, firm yet gentle. It was absurd. A beast capable of tearing me apart was the one keeping me standing. He stepped back, watching me with unnerving intelligence. I swallowed. Hard. Why are you helping me? He blinked once, as if my voice stirred something. His head tilted, those blue eyes glowing brighter. Snowflakes clung to his fur like shimmering crystals. He took another step closer. My heart nearly stopped. His nose brushed the side of my neck, inhaling deeply, slowly, as if memorizing my scent. His body heat soaked into me, warming my frozen bones. This close, I could feel his heartbeat. Fast, strong, steady, like he was trying to calm mine. My throat tightened. He wasn't just protecting me. He was claiming me. A howl cut the air from behind us, not from a wolf nearby, but distant, echoing through the valley. The alpha stiffened. The other wolves reacted instantly, alert, tense, awaiting orders. He turned his massive head toward them, emitting a sound so low and powerful that it vibrated through my ribs. It wasn't a growl. It was a command. The wolves scattered, fanning out like trained soldiers. My eyes widened. He commands them, like a king. He looked back at me. And then, my world stopped. Before my eyes, his bones shifted under his fur. His muscles convulsed. His form blurred like heat rising from fire. A crack. A snapping sound. Another. His body grew taller. His fur thinned. Claws turned to hands, large, strong hands. The transformation wasn't violent, it was hypnotic. In just seconds, where the massive silver wolf stood, now stood a man. Tall, powerful, bare chest heaving with breath. Skin kissed by frost and the moonlight. His hair was long and white like his wolf fur, falling over sharp, chiseled features. Eyes, still that exact same electric blue, locked on mine. He wasn't just beautiful. He was dangerous. A living storm. Snow swirled around him, like even nature bowed to his command. I staggered back, lungs tightening. I choked, barely forming the words. You're human. He moved closer. Predatory. Controlled. Terrifyingly calm. I am the Alpha King, he said, voice deep enough to vibrate through my bones. His gaze dropped to my shredded wrists. His jaw clenched. They hurt you. Not a question. A fact. His voice held a quiet, lethal promise. They will pay. Fear and relief crashed inside me. You shouldn't have saved me, I whispered, my voice shaking. I'm nobody. His expression hardened. In less than a blink, he closed the distance between us. His hand rose, not to grab, but to guide me, tilting my chin up. Those blue eyes searched mine, not with curiosity, but with certainty. You are not nobody. My breath hitched. You are mine. My stomach dropped. And no, you don't understand, I stammered. I'm not from here. I don't belong in your world. He leaned in so slowly it felt like the entire forest held its breath. His lips brushed my ear. You belonged to me before you were even born. My knees nearly gave out. I stepped back, shaking. What does that mean? A shadow of emotion flickered through his eyes, pain, loss, something broken. You're not safe here, he said instead. They want your blood. Why? I whispered. His hand tightened into a fist. Because you smell like royalty. My heart stopped. I'm not royalty. You are something rarer. His voice dropped to a whisper. You are the bloodline we lost. Lost? My pulse hammered. My mind raced. I don't understand. You will, he promised. But first, he stepped behind me, placing his coat, warm, heavy, fur-lined, over my shoulders. His scent surrounded me. Wild, cold, dangerous. He leaned close, his breath brushing my neck. I protect what is mine. He lifted me effortlessly off the snow, holding me against his chest as if I weighed nothing. And as he carried me into the night, surrounded by the silent escort of wolves, for the first time in my life, I wasn't afraid. I felt chosen. The world blurred around me as the Alpha King carried me through the forest. I wasn't walking. I wasn't running. I was flying, held against his chest like something precious, fragile, irreplaceable. Cold wind whipped against my face, yet I felt warm. His body heat engulfed me, seeping into my bones. His wolves ran beside us, massive shadows weaving between trees, silent, disciplined, loyal. They didn't act like animals. They moved like warriors. My hand rested against his chest as we traveled, unintentionally feeling the steady thump of his heart. Strong, unshakable, possessive. Just as my mind started to settle, the forest suddenly ended. The earth opened before us. And rising against the black sky, was a fortress. Not a mansion, not a castle, a kingdom carved into a mountain. Black stone towers rose into the night, spiked and intimidating. Massive torches blazed with blue fire, lighting ancient symbols etched into the walls. A giant gate of steel and obsidian stood at the entrance, 20 feet tall, guarded by wolves bigger than anything I'd ever seen. Not wolves, beasts. The second we appeared, they lowered their heads and growled, not at him, at me. Fear shot down my spine. I dug my fingers into his coat. He tightened his grip around me, more protective than possessive. Mine. His body said it without a single word. He stepped forward, voice cold and commanding. Open the gates. The wolves parted. The massive gates groaned as they opened inward, revealing a glowing corridor lit by blue flames. My heart hammered. What is this place? He didn't look at me, eyes locked ahead. My kingdom. Inside the walls, hundreds, no, thousands, of wolves stood in organized formation. Watching, waiting, judging. They bowed when they saw him, but when their eyes shifted to me, everything changed. Whispers spread like wildfire. Human. Unmarked. Why is she with the king? She shouldn't be here. One voice cut sharper than the rest. She doesn't belong. I flinched. The Alpha King stopped. Slow. Deliberate. He turned his head, his icy blue eyes burning through the warrior who spoke. The temperature dropped. She belongs where I say she belongs. The warrior swallowed hard, dropping his gaze. My heart pounded against my ribs. I shouldn't be here. Not in this world. Not beside a king. He carried me past the crowd and into a massive hall. Moonlight spilled through crystalline windows, illuminating black marble floors veined with silver. Wolf statues lined the walls. The air smelled of pine, winter wind, and something ancient, like old magic. He finally set me down near an enormous fireplace, its heat hitting me like a soft embrace. My legs trembled, unsteady without his arms around me. He noticed. Before I could fall, he caught my waist, effortless, natural. Easy, he said, voice deep. You're safe here. Safe. I wanted to believe him. But then, a woman entered. Tall, flawless, draped in a crimson gown that flowed behind her like spilled blood. Her hair was a waterfall of jet black, her eyes sharp and evaluating. My king, she purred, walking toward him with practiced elegance. We felt your return. The council awaits your briefing. Her gaze slid to me. Slow, predatory. Her lips curled into a cruel, amused smirk. And who is this? Before I could speak, the Alpha stepped slightly in front of me, shielding me with his body. This is none of your concern, Morena. Ah, so that's who she was. Beautiful, graceful, confident, and she hated me at first sight. Her eyes narrowed, voice dripping poison. A fragile human, in the castle? Bold of you to bring her inside rather than feed her to the forest. Heat rushed to my cheeks. He growled. Not a warning. A threat. Morena stopped instantly. Every wolf in the room stiffened. He stepped forward, dangerous, lethal power radiating off him. Address her with respect. She blinked, stunned. Why? She whispered, voice sharp. Who is she to you? Silence. Then, his answer carved into the stone of the hall. She is mine. The room froze. My lungs forgot to function. Mine, mine, mine. Morena's face paled, eyes widening before she masked her shock with a tight, brittle smile. I see, she said quietly. The fated claim. My chest constricted. Fated, what? I finally found my voice. Stop saying that. I'm not yours. My voice cracked. You don't even know me. He turned to me, and in that moment, I wished he hadn't. His gaze was intense enough to burn. I have known your scent since I first took breath. He stepped closer. You are the one the moon promised me. The moon? I whispered. A prophecy foretold, Morena interrupted, bitterness seeping through every word. That a human-born girl with lost royal blood would become his queen. Queen? No, 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 no. There was nothing royal about me. I'm not a prophecy, I said, shaking my head. I'm not. His hand pressed gently to my cheek, silencing my panic. You feel it too, he murmured. I hated that he was right. Every time he touched me. Every time his voice wrapped around me. Every time his eyes locked onto mine. Something inside me recognized him. Something ancient, powerful, terrifying. We are fated, he said, voice quieter now, almost vulnerable. I don't believe in fate, I whispered. He leaned in, his lips brushing the shell of my ear. You don't have to believe in it, he replied. Because fate believes in you. My breath caught. He turned to the others. I'm taking her to my chambers. No one enters without my permission. Gasps echoed. Morena's eyes widened. You're bringing her into, yes. He didn't let her finish. He reached for my hand, threading his fingers through mine, warm, strong, claiming. Electricity shot through me. My pulse raced. Every instinct screamed at me to pull away. My heart whispered to stay. He led me down a corridor of moonlit arches, the echoes of our footsteps swallowed by silence. Finally, we reached massive silver doors etched with runes. He pushed them open. Inside was the highest room in the entire fortress, a glass-walled sanctuary overlooking endless mountains and an endless night sky. Stars reflected on polished black floors. A massive bed rested in the center, made of carved wood and fur, framed by sheer dark curtains. He let go of my hand and turned to face me. His voice softened. You will sleep here tonight. I stared. In your room? His eyes locked with mine. I only have one. My throat tightened. Then where will you sleep? He stepped closer. Wherever you are. My heart stuttered. He reached out, brushing a stray strand of hair behind my ear. You are safe here, he said gently, for the first time without dominance, only sincerity. I won't let anyone touch you. His fingers lingered against my skin. Warm, certain, possessive, and for the first time since this nightmare began, I believed him. I woke up to silence. Not peaceful silence, the kind that feels like someone is holding their breath in the dark. Moonlight poured into the Alpha King's chamber through the glass walls. For a few blissful seconds, I forgot where I was. Then I felt it. Warmth. A presence. I turned my head. He wasn't sleeping, but sitting on the edge of the bed, elbows resting on his knees, bare back illuminated by moonlight. Muscles sculpted by war and scars that told stories no words ever could. He was watching the mountains. Or guarding me. Maybe both. My voice was barely a whisper. You didn't sleep. He didn't look at me. I don't sleep when there's danger. My chest tightened. Danger? From what? Finally, he turned. Those ice-blue eyes met mine, the kind that could destroy armies, but softened only when he looked at me. From anyone who sees you as a threat. I swallowed. Threat? I'm just a human. His jaw flexed. To them, you're more than that. He pushed himself off the bed and walked to me slowly, each footstep heavy with meaning. You are the prophecy. The word hung in the air like a blade. He stopped in front of me, head bowed as if wrestling with something. The council demanded a meeting at sunrise. His voice darkened. They want to decide your fate. My blood ran cold. Decide if I live? Decide if you stay, he corrected, though the shadow in his eyes told me what he wasn't saying. Stay. Or die. He brushed a thumb against my cheek, slow, almost reverent. I don't care what they say. You're mine. My heart reacted before my brain could. I didn't choose this. He froze. And for the first time, I saw something raw in his eyes. Fear. Not of losing power. Fear of losing me. I know, he whispered. But I will never force you to be anything you don't want to be. Before I could respond, the doors slammed open. Wolves shifted into their human forms mid-motion, kneeling. Your Majesty, urgent news. The council, the warrior didn't finish. A deafening boom shook the entire chamber. The castle trembled. Glass rattled. From the corridor, panicked shouts erupted. They breached the gate. Protect the king. Someone's trying to kill the human. Kill me. My heart lurched. Before I could move, the Alpha King grabbed me and pulled me behind him. His voice was pure command, sharp, lethal. Stay behind me. No, I breathed. They're here because of me. His eyes snapped to mine, furious. They're here because they are afraid. Of what you are. He pushed open the door and led me into the corridor. Chaos. Wolves sprinted through hallways in furious motion, shifting mid-run. Armored warriors formed defensive lines. All around us, I heard fragments of panic. She's dangerous. She'll take the throne. The prophecy must not be fulfilled. The prophecy. The prophecy. The prophecy. They didn't know me. They didn't care to. Someone wanted me gone. A movement to our left, a shadow launched forward. A hooded figure charged with a silver blade, lunging for my throat. I froze. Time slowed. I saw the glint of the knife. I saw death. Then, a blur of motion. A roar that shook the walls. The Alpha King slammed the attacker into the stone column so hard dust rained from the ceiling. His hand closed around the assassin's throat, lifting him off the ground. You dare touch what is mine? The assassin struggled, choking out the words, she will end you, just like the prophecy said. His voice cut off when the Alpha tightened his grip. Red crept into the king's eyes. He was losing control. He was inches away from ripping the man's throat out. I swallowed hard. Stop. He didn't move. Cairo, my voice cracked. You're not a monster. His head whipped toward me. Everything went silent. Slowly, the red faded from his eyes. He released the assassin, who collapsed unconscious to the floor. He turned toward me, breathing hard, chest rising and falling. You shouldn't have seen that. I'm still here, I whispered. I'm not afraid of you. His eyes closed in relief, for a single second. Then, a horn echoed through the castle halls. Not a warning horn, a summons. The council, he murmured. They're demanding we face them. He reached for me, threading his fingers through mine, holding me with the same certainty as when he carried me through the forest. Whatever happens inside that chamber, he said, don't let them see fear. We walked together down the long hallway, past torches, past guards, past windows where snow began to fall like ash. At the end of the corridor stood 2 stone doors, etched with ancient runes, the doors to the Council of Elders. As we approached, the Alpha leaned down and whispered against my ear, from now on, you walk beside me. Not behind. He pushed the doors open. And every elder turned to look at me. Not like I was a person. Like I was the weapon destiny sent to kill them all. The council chamber was unlike anything I'd ever seen. A circular room carved entirely from obsidian stone. Torches burned with blue flame, their smoke curling toward the ceiling like ghostly tendrils. 13 elders sat around a crescent table, each one dressed in black, silver wolf sigils hanging from their necks like judgment. Their eyes tracked me as if I were prey. My skin prickled. The Alpha King tightened his grip on my hand. Don't bow, he murmured. You bow to no one here. We stopped in the center of the room. One elder stood, gray hair braided down his back, eyes like polished bone. Alpha Cairo, he said coldly. You bring a human into the sacred chamber. She is not just a human, Cairo replied. His voice struck the chamber like thunder. She is my fate. The room erupted. You break the laws. She cannot lead. She weakens our bloodline. Their voices hammered into my skull. I lifted my chin, refusing to shrink. I wasn't weak. I was terrified. But I wasn't weak. Another elder, a woman with silver eyes and a permanent sneer, spoke. She cannot be Luna. She has no lineage, no mark, no wolf. I felt my chest tighten. No wolf, no lineage, nothing special. Cairo stepped forward, ice blue eyes colder than steel. She saved my life. She risked her own without hesitation. That does not make her worthy. That voice, Morena. She rose from the shadows behind the council table, wearing a gown of blood-red silk. Love makes kings stupid, she said softly. Cairo growled. I felt it vibrating through the floor. Morena tilted her head, looking directly at me. You think he loves you? Her smile was razor-sharp. Watch how quickly love breaks under pressure. The eldest elder slammed a staff onto the stone floor. Silence. This hearing has one purpose. He pointed directly at me. To decide if the girl lives or dies. My blood froze. Cairo's voice turned lethal. You touch her, and I tear this entire council apart. The elder didn't flinch. Our laws were made to prevent chaos. A prophecy is a dangerous thing. Prophecy. That cursed word again. What prophecy? I whispered. The elder turned his gaze to a massive scroll sealed with wax. A symbol of a crescent moon and a wolf. Morena grinned. Let her hear it. Let her understand why she terrifies us. The elder broke the seal. The scroll unfurled to the floor. He began to read. When the moon marks a human born of forgotten royalty, she shall stand at the Alpha King's side, and her blood will choose the fate of wolves, salvation, or extinction. My heart stopped. Extinction? The other elder slammed his fist on the table. If she stays, she might save us. Or doom us. Cairo stepped in front of me, shielding me again. She will save us. How do you know? An elder demanded. Because I trust her. Morena stood, voice smooth as poison. Let her speak. Let us hear her truth. All eyes shifted to me. It felt like the floor disappeared beneath my feet. 13 elders. Morena. Cairo. Everyone waiting to hear what I would say. My heartbeat thundered. I never asked for this. I said. My voice echoed through the chamber. I wasn't searching for power. I wasn't looking for a title. A breath. I saw someone in danger, and I helped. That's all. Morena smiled, mocking. So noble, so pure. I ignored her. But if fate put me here, I continued, voice shaking, then I won't run from it. A stunned silence. I took a step forward. If my blood decides the fate of the wolves, then I choose salvation. One elder leaned forward. You speak boldly for someone who cannot shift. I inhaled deeply. I don't have claws. I don't have heightened strength. But I have something wolves forget. The room leaned in. I have choice. Whispers erupted. Cairo's lips parted, surprise softening his eyes. The eldest elder lifted his staff. Enough. He pointed to the circle of flame carved into the floor. The vote begins. Step back. Cairo pulled me close, mouth near my ear. No matter what they decide, I won't let them take you. I swallowed. You can't fight the entire council. His jaw tensed. I would fight the world. The elders stepped forward one by one. Elder 1. Exile the girl. Elder 2. She is a threat. Elder 3. Execute her before the prophecy takes root. My blood ran cold. Executed. Exiled. Dead. My pulse hammered. Then, Elder 4, an old woman with shaking hands and kind eyes, spoke softly. No. She looked at me, not with fear, but hope. She carries the heart of a Luna. One by one, they voted. Exile. Kill her. Send her away. She cannot stay. Cairo's rage simmered beneath his skin. His wolf was pushing through. Then the room froze. One elder remained. The final vote. The decision. He stood slowly. His eyes, golden and ancient, locked onto mine. The girl stays. The chamber exploded with shouting, she will destroy us. The prophecy. This is madness. The elder lifted his hand. And silence fell like stone. He looked at me, into me. You are not the prophecy, yet. My throat tightened. What does that mean? It means the prophecy awakens the moment you accept the king's mark. My breath stopped. Cairo went still beside me. The elder continued. If he marks you, destiny will activate. Mark me. Become Luna. Choose fate. Or walk away, and save myself from becoming a queen I never asked to be. Cairo turned to me slowly, eyes burning with emotion. You don't have to choose now, he said quietly. You're not ready. But the council was done waiting. Morena stepped forward, smile twisting. She will never survive the Luna trials. Luna? Trials? Cairo's head snapped toward her. No. But the elders nodded. It is decided, they announced together. To earn her place, the girl must endure the trials of the Luna. 3 tests. 3 dangers. Sue. RVIVE, or die. My stomach dropped. Morena leaned close enough for me to feel her breath. Pray you die quickly. Cairo roared, shifting partially, eyes glowing, teeth lengthened. Enough. He pulled me into his arms. I will not let them hurt you. I whispered back, but I'm done running. And for the first time since I entered this kingdom, I wasn't afraid. I was ready. Ready to fight fate. Ready to become Luna. Whether destiny wanted it or not. I thought I understood fear. I was wrong. Fear isn't wolves chasing you. Fear isn't a kingdom that wants you dead. Fear is walking alone into a place where everything wants to kill you, and there is no one to save you. The first Luna trial began before dawn. The courtyard was silent, covered in frost. Torches flickered against towering stone walls. Snowflakes drifted through the air like falling ash. And in front of me stood a maze. But not any maze. A labyrinth made of living vines, spiked, pulsing, alive. The roots moved beneath the ground like veins. A breathing creature, hungry, waiting for me to step inside. Morena stood on a balcony above, draped in white fur, voice echoing over the arena. The first trial, she announced, is simple. A wicked smile. Survive the maze. Whispers rippled through the crowd. No human has ever passed. She'll die in minutes. Their words pierced like knives. Cairo stood at the edge of the arena, fists clenched at his sides. His wolf was just beneath the surface, eyes glowing, jaw tight. He wanted to fight. He wanted to destroy them all. But he wasn't allowed to interfere. He could only watch me suffer. I promised not to mark you until you chose me, he said softly, voice trembling with conflict. But if you go in there, you might never walk back out. I looked up at him. At the king who would burn the world for me. I'm not doing this to prove myself to them, I whispered. I'm doing it because they don't get to decide who I am. His chest rose sharply, a crack in his armor. You don't have to be strong for them, he said. I'm not, I replied. I'm being strong for me. Before anyone could stop me, I stepped into the maze. The instant my foot crossed the threshold, the vines slammed shut behind me, sealing me inside. Darkness swallowed me whole. The maze, the air was damp. Cold. Wrong. Every breath tasted of dirt and decay. Vines creaked and shifted around me like something alive. I moved slowly, touching the wall lightly with one hand. The texture felt like skin. Just keep moving, I whispered to myself. My heartbeat echoed in my ears. Left turn, right turn, another corridor. Every path looked the same, twisting and swallowing the light. Suddenly, thud, a sound in the distance. Footsteps? No. Something. Heavier. A growl rumbled through the darkness. My breath hitched. I pressed my back against the vines. They twitched under my fingertips, like muscle reacting to touch. The air grew warmer. Something was coming. A shadow detached itself from the darkness. Massive. Hunched. Wearing the shape of a wolf, but not fully. Its bones were wrong. Its eyes glowing red with madness. A feral wolf. Not part of the pack. A creature the maze created to kill intruders. My pulse pounded. No sudden movements, I whispered. The wolf inhaled, deep, slow. It smelled my fear. It lunged. I sprinted. Branches slashed at my arms as I ran, vines grabbing at my ankles like claws. I turned sharply, skidding across damp soil, heart crashing against my ribs. Just keep going, I gasped. I dove through a narrow gap between 2 walls. The vines snapped shut behind me, blocking the wolf. I collapsed to my knees, swallowing ragged breaths. But then, a whisper echoed through the maze. Not from the wind, from the vines. Turn back. My blood turned to ice. Human cannot survive. No, I whispered fiercely. You don't get to decide that. I pushed myself up. The path ahead narrowed, spiraling toward a faint glow. I followed it. At the center of the maze was a stone pedestal. On it lay a silver crest, the symbol of the Luna. All I had to do was touch it. My fingers hovered over it. But then, a vine whipped around my wrist. I screamed as it yanked me off my feet and into the air, suspending me upside down. The vines wrapped around my torso, tightening like a serpent. Crushing, stealing my breath. I clawed at them, nails digging into living bark. They only tightened more. My vision blurred. No, the vines constricted my ribs. I couldn't breathe. My lungs screamed. In the suffocating darkness, I heard Cairo's voice, not physically, but in memory. You don't have to believe in fate, because fate believes in you. I wasn't going to die here. Not like this. I forced my body to go still. The vines loosened a fraction, confused. That was my chance. I twisted sharply, letting the vines swing me, and slammed both feet into the pedestal. The crest flew into the air. I reached. Fingers brushing cold metal, the vines yanked, but my hand closed around the crest. Light exploded. A blast of energy threw me free from the vines, hurling me onto the ground. A shockwave ripped through the entire maze. Walls crumbled. Vines screamed and withered. The labyrinth collapsed around me. I lay in the dirt, chest heaving, clutching the crest to my chest. The maze dissolved into ash. The trial was over. Outside the maze I stumbled out into the courtyard. Bruised, bleeding, barely standing, but alive. The arena went silent. Morena's face twisted. In disbelief. No human should have survived that. Cairo rushed toward me, face pale, eyes wide. He cupped my face with shaking hands. You're bleeding, he whispered. I laughed, hoarse and breathless. I guess the maze didn't like me. He pulled me into his arms. Not possessively, desperately, as if he'd nearly lost his world. He buried his face in my hair, voice breaking. You are not allowed to die. Not now, not ever. For the first time, I held him back, not because he needed strength. Because I did. Morena's voice rang out, frustrated and furious. She passed the first trial. But the next one will break her. Cairo turned slowly, eyes glowing with a threat. If she breaks, we all burn. And I knew, this was only the beginning. The night was too quiet. Not peaceful, dangerously quiet. After Cade locked me in the room, for my safety, I waited. Waited for footsteps. Waited for guards. Waited for him. But silence wrapped around me like a shroud. My fingers trailed the smooth wooden door, searching for weakness. The metal lock clicked in place hours ago. He didn't even try to hide that he didn't trust me. I pressed my ear against the door. No guards. No voices. Just emptiness. Great, I whispered bitterly. Not trusted by the wolves. Not accepted by the Luna Council. And apparently, too fragile to even stand in the hallway. I walked to the balcony, the cold mountain wind slapping my cheeks awake. Below me, the courtyard flickered with torches. Wolves in patrol patterns moved like shadows. Their breath fogged the air. Their eyes glowed with suspicion. Every one of them knew. Cade saved a human, claimed her, protected her, and humans weren't supposed to be claimed. I gripped the balcony railing. Earlier today, the Luna Council had gathered in that large stone hall and looked at me like I was a disease. She's weak. She doesn't belong. She will never lead. Their words echoed in my skull like bullets. I tried to hide how much they hurt. But Cade saw it, every flinch, every rapid heartbeat. I don't need their approval, I whispered to the night, lying to myself. Because the truth? I wanted to belong, not just to Cade, to someone, to somewhere. A rustle came from below. Two wolves, massive, gray, shoulders rolling with power, dragged a hooded figure toward the dungeon entrance. Even from here, I recognized her posture. Raven, the beta female who wanted to be Luna. Who wanted Cade. Who wanted me gone. She struggled against the guards, her voice sharp and furious. You think she will last? A human? She hissed. She'll destroy everything. One guard shoved her. The Alpha's orders. Silence. Raven spat at them. My pack will not be ruled by a mistake. Mistake. The word cut deeper than any nif. My grip tightened on the railing until my knuckles blanched. Part of me wanted to scream back, fight her, prove her wrong. But another part of me whispered, what if she's right? What if I was a burden? What if I was ruining Cade's leadership? What if I wasn't meant to be here? I closed my eyes. The wind carried his scent, raw pine, storm, danger. Right before I heard, you shouldn't eavesdrop. I spun. Cade stood behind me, silent, intense, eyes glowing like molten amber in the dark. He walked toward me, slow and predatory, until he stood inches away. You're shivering. I'm thinking. That's worse. His jaw tightened. Thinking leads to doubt, and doubt leads to fear. I'm not afraid, I lied. Your heartbeat says otherwise. He lifted a hand and pushed a strand of hair behind my ear. My body betrayed me, leaning into his touch. You heard what they said about me, I whispered. I heard wolves lying, he corrected. His voice, low, deep, full of storm and certainty, thundered into my bones. They see a human. I see the girl who stood between me and death. The girl who faced a pack and didn't tremble. The girl I claimed because fate didn't give me a choice. He paused. I didn't choose you. He leaned in, breath brushing my lips. Destiny did. The world stopped spinning. But before I could answer, a scream shattered the silence. Then another. Torches flared. Wolves sprinted across the courtyard. Cade turned sharply toward the chaos. What's happening? I gasped. A warrior sprinted toward us, breathless. Alpha, outsiders breached the border. They're inside the territory. We found markings, wolf hunters. Hunters. The word punched the air from my lungs. The same hunters who chased me in the forest. The same ones Cade protected me from. The same ones Raven whispered about. They were here. Cade's eyes shifted into pure alpha rage, wild, lethal. I grabbed his arm. Cade, you can't go alone. He cupped my face and kissed me, fast and desperate, like it might be our last. Then his voice dropped into a promise that held the weight of thunder. I will always come back to you. And before I could breathe, he shifted. Bones cracked. Fur erupted. The alpha wolf, huge, white, terrifying, leapt off the balcony into darkness. I ran back to the railing and watched him disappear into the trees, his wolf leading a furious charge. Fear flooded my veins, not of the hunters, not of the council, but of losing him. I had already lost too much in life. I couldn't lose him too. I squared my shoulders. If fate wanted to test me again, then fine. I wouldn't run. I wouldn't hide. And I sure as hell wouldn't let the hunters take the only person who ever protected me. Not anymore. If the wolves wouldn't stand beside me, I'd stand alone. Because this time, I wasn't the hunted. I was becoming the fight. The moment Cade disappeared into the forest, a cold panic wrapped around my ribs and squeezed. The courtyard was chaos. Warriors shifted mid-stride, fur exploding from skin, sounds of cracking bones echoing in the night. Wolves sprinted toward the tree line, howls ripping through the air, raw, violent, alarmed. And I stood on that balcony, frozen, not because I was afraid of the hunters, but because I could still feel Cade's final look. The look that said, if I don't come back, remember this moment. A sickening realization twisted inside me. They weren't just here to attack the pack. They were here for me. My blood, my past, my existence. And Cade had left me unguarded. No, not unguarded. Hidden. Not happening, I whispered. I turned toward the door, locked. Of course. Cade had locked me in a cage before leaving to fight. He trusted me enough to claim me. But not enough to let me stand beside him. My heart hammered as I stared at the door. You think I'll sit here while you bleed for me? I backed away, took a breath, and then, slam. I rammed my shoulder into the heavy wooden door. Pain shot down my arm. I tried again. And again. On the third try, something inside me snapped. Not the bone, not the door, me. I wasn't the helpless girl from the forest anymore. I was done letting people decide what I could do. I took 2 steps back, inhaled sharply, and threw my entire body into the door, crack. The lock gave way. I stumbled into the hallway, breathless, adrenaline igniting my veins. Torches flickered along the stone walls. The pack was gone. Every wolf had raced toward the alarm. Except one. A small figure stood at the far end. Raven. She was supposed to be in the dungeon. But here she was, leaning against the wall, rubbing her wrists where the restraints must have dug in. Her eyes narrowed when she saw me. You broke out, she said flatly. You escaped, I shot back. She smirked. Unlike you, I don't need to throw myself against doors. She stepped closer, slow, like a predator circling prey. You should have stayed locked up, human. Hunters aren't here by accident. My stomach twisted. You led them here. Raven shrugged. Let's just say, I gave them a direction. A direction? A target? My chest tightened. Why? Why go this far? Her expression changed, bitterness replacing arrogance. Because you took the life I was born for. Her voice broke, just a hairline crack, but enough for me to hear the truth beneath the rage. It was supposed to be me beside him, she whispered. Me wearing the Luna mark. Me leading this kingdom. Her eyes glistened, not angry. Devastated. Then you appeared. A fragile girl from the human world. And he, she swallowed. He looked at you like you were the moon. For a heartbeat, she looked human. But empathy died when she added, and when the hunters take you, things will go back to balance. Something inside me snapped. You think killing me will make him love you? I demanded. You can't threaten your way into someone's heart. She smirked coldly. Maybe not, but I can remove what stands in my way. She raised her hand, and that's when I saw it. A hunter's tracking knife. My blood iced. She took a step toward me. I'll make it painless. More than you deserve. My breath caught. Fight or freeze. My survival instinct roared awake. If I didn't fight, I would die. And Cade would walk back from that battle to find nothing but my blood. Not again. I steadied my voice. You want to kill me? I lifted my chin. Then come try. For a moment, she hesitated, maybe surprised I didn't run. But then, the door at the far end of the hall burst open. A wolf barreled in, snow and blood on its fur, eyes glowing silver. Not Cade. Another warrior. He growled at Raven. Hunters are inside. Raven cursed and took off the other way, abandoning the confrontation. I sprinted into the courtyard, heart in my throat, snow stabbing my cheeks. The gate stood open. The forest beyond it, burned with torchlight. Their shapes moved through the trees, men with rifles, silver blades, tranquilizers. Hunters. One turned. He saw me, and smiled. There she is. My breath shattered. I backed up, heart thundering, when a massive white wolf leapt between us. Cade. But his fur wasn't pristine this time. It was streaked with blood, his own. He snarled, fangs bared, posture lethal. The hunter lifted his rifle. Cade. I screamed. He didn't look at me. He pounced. The forest exploded with violence. Wolves tackled hunters, snow flew, gunshots cracked the air. Cade ripped a hunter off his feet with a single brutal snap of his jaw. He was everywhere at once, white blur, fury incarnate. But then, I saw it. A second hunter aiming at him from behind. Cade, behind you. He turned too late. The gun fired. I ran. Instinct. Fear. Love. I threw myself forward, shoving Cade aside just as the tranquilizer dart struck me. Pain seared through my shoulder. My vision blurred. Cade shifted mid-roar, kneeling and catching me before I hit the ground. No, no. His voice cracked. Stay with me. My body went numb. My heartbeat slowed. Cade? I whispered. He cupped my face with both hands, desperation clawing through his expression. I just found you, he rasped. Don't leave me. Darkness pulled at me, and right before I slipped under, I saw something in his eyes I hadn't seen before. Raw fear. Not of losing Aluna. Of losing M.E. Darkness didn't come all at once. It crawled in slowly, like frost spreading over glass. I could still hear everything, the chaos, the wolves, the hunters, but my body felt weightless, detached, floating somewhere between pain and numbness. The tranquilizer dart was slowing my heart. But what terrified me most wasn't the poison. It was Cade's voice. Breaking. Stay with me. Don't close your eyes. He cradled me against his chest as if holding me tighter might anchor me to life. The world around us blurred, silver fur, snarling jaws, gunshots, snow turning crimson. But all I could see was him. Cade? I whispered, barely forming the word. His hands trembled where they touched my face. It's okay, I slurred. I'm just tired. His voice cracked. No, you're not tired. You're drugged. You're fighting it. I tried to lift my hand to his cheek. My fingers wouldn't move. I told you I'd protect you, he whispered, forehead pressed against mine. You did, I breathed. You always do. Something inside him shattered, like a dam breaking. His eyes turned pure wolf, silver burning with wild fury. He threw back his head and let out a roar so deep, so primal, the earth itself seemed to tremble. Wolves stopped. Hunters froze. Even the wind held its breath. I had never heard a sound like that. It wasn't rage. It was fear. Fear of losing me. A hunter shouted from the tree line, Trank the Alpha. Multiple rifles turned toward us. Cade didn't run. He didn't shield himself. He shifted. Massive. White. Terrifying. Beautiful. His fur bristled, breath steaming in the frozen air, lips peeling back in a silent snarl. When he spoke through the bond, his voice was deeper, darker. Mine. He lunged. Not like a wolf. Like a storm. The hunters didn't stand a chance. He tore through them, ripping rifles from hands and crushing them under massive paws. Every move was fueled by panic and fury. I tried to call out, "Cade," but the world dimmed further. Wolves circled around me, forming a protective wall, growling, jaws dripping, eyes blazing with pack loyalty. Someone knelt beside me. Not Cade. A woman. Her scent was familiar, pine smoke and old magic. The elder. White hair, lined face, eyes that held centuries of secrets. She brushed her fingers over the dart wound. "Silver-based tranquilizer," she murmured. "It's meant to stop a wolf's shift. On a human, it stops the heart." Stops the heart. My heart. My chest constricted, not with fear. With realization. "So this is how I die," I whispered. She didn't look up. "You cannot die. Not with what flows through you." "What flows through me?" The elder finally raised her eyes. And in them, I saw truth. "You are not human." The world stopped spinning. "What?" "You were. Born wolf," she said gently. "Born of royal blood." My breath caught. "What are you talking about?" "You were stolen as a child. Hidden among humans. To protect you." "No," I whispered. "No, that's..." A memory flashed. A man's hand pulling me through a forest. A child screaming. A wolf howling. A necklace torn from my neck, the same necklace I still wore. My pulse stuttered. My life, everything I believed about myself, was a lie. "Cade has been searching for you since the day you disappeared," the elder continued. "He was just a boy. But he remembered." "Remembered me?" "We thought you were dead," she whispered. "The Alpha King lost his daughter that night." My blood froze. "His daughter?" "No." I shook my head weakly. "Cade? Cade is the Alpha King. Cade found you before he knew who you were," she said. "Before he sensed your bloodline." Memories hit like lightning. The way he stared at me. The way he said he knew me. The way he protected me without reason. He never fell in love with a stranger. He was drawn to his past. "Cade," I breathlessly whispered, eyes filling with tears. He shifted back into human form and ran to me, chest heaving, body streaked with cuts and blood. He dropped to his knees and cupped my face. "Stay awake," he pleaded. "Don't leave me." I looked at him through heavy lashes, voice barely a breath. "You knew?" "I didn't," he whispered. "Not at first." "Since when?" His voice trembled. "The day I marked you." My vision blurred. He pressed his forehead to mine. "You are not mine because of fate," he whispered fiercely. "You are mine because I choose you. Every moment, every lifetime." The elder touched my chest. A warm pulse of energy spread through me, like wildfire through frozen veins. I gasped, arching off the ground. Cade held me tighter. "What are you doing to her?" he demanded. "Awakening what was always there," the elder replied. Light shot through my arms, my neck, my heart, like the world itself was forcing breath back into my lungs. I inhaled sharply. Air, life, power. The elder smiled faintly. "Welcome home, princess." Cade froze. I stared at him. "You're not my mate," I whispered. "You're me." His voice broke. "My family." My world shattered. Everything stopped. Silence. Not the soft kind, the kind that follows destruction. The hunters were gone. The wolves stood watch. And Cade knelt in front of me, his breathing uneven, eyes locked on mine like I was the only thing left in the world. But the elder's words still rang in my skull. "Welcome home. Princess. Princess. Wolf-blooded. Cade's daughter? Except, no." My memories, faint and fractured, returned like pieces of a puzzle snapping into place. A man's voice telling me to run. The scent of smoke. A.S. Silver blade glinting in a hunter's hand. My mother's scream. Then darkness. I wasn't stolen by my father. I was stolen from him. And Cade. He didn't look at me like a father. He looked at me like someone who would burn down the world rather than lose me. The elder knelt beside us. "You misunderstand," she said gently. "You are the Alpha King's daughter." Cade looked away, jaw flexing. "But Cade is not that king." The pause was a punch to my chest. The elder continued. "Your biological father was the last Alpha King, ruler of this kingdom before hunters ambushed the palace. Cade's father. You and Cade share no blood." My breath rushed back like a tidal wave. "Cade is not my father. He's the son of the king who died that night. And I was the daughter of the Luna who died protecting me." Cade's voice was barely a whisper. I found you drenched in snow and blood that night. I was only 8. I carried you to a healer, and when they said you died, I blamed myself. He swallowed, voice breaking. I spent years searching for a ghost. My throat tightened. You found me, I whispered. He cupped my face, thumb brushing a tear I didn't realize had fallen. I didn't know who you were when I claimed you, he said. I only knew you were mine. Something inside me softened. Not possession, not dominance, belonging. Slowly, I lifted my hand and placed it over his heart. His breath hitched. Warmth pulsed beneath my palm. Through the bond, through fate, through choice. I don't care about royalty, I whispered. Or bloodlines, or titles. He leaned closer, snowflakes melting on his lashes. I only care about you. His lips brushed mine, but he didn't kiss me yet, not until I finished what I needed to say. You didn't claim me because of my blood. You claimed me because of my soul. He exhaled, relief, disbelief, love. I will spend every lifetime proving that, he murmured. A howl echoed through the clearing, deep, sharp, panicked. Raven. She staggered across the snow, blood on her sleeve, one of the hunters dragging her by the hair. He pressed a blade to her throat. Give me the girl, he snarled. Or the wolf dies. Cade rose, body shifting, fury radiating off him. No. I grabbed his arm. He wants you to attack. The hunter smirked, voice cold. You all think she's powerful. But she's just a scared little. He didn't finish. Because I stepped forward. No, I said quietly. I'm done being scared. The hunter tightened his grip. Raven's eyes met mine, not hateful, not jealous, but terrified. Cade, I murmured, voice steady, let me deal with him. Cade hesitated, but something in my voice made him step aside. I walked forward, the snow crunching under my feet. Every wolf watched. Every breath held. You me? I asked the hunter. My voice didn't shake. Then take me. He shoved Raven aside, knife aimed at me now. I didn't flinch. Because something warm surged in my veins, a pulse of energy, wild and ancient. Power. Wolves howled as my vision sharpened, my hearing heightened. My heart beat once, twice, shift. Not into fur and fangs. Into something fierce and luminous. My wolf wasn't outside me. My wolf was inside me. Gold light exploded from my skin like lightning, slamming into the hunter and throwing him backward into the snow. He hit the ground, unmoving. The pack stared. Even Cade froze. My glowing aura faded as the power settled. I exhaled. Raven collapsed to her knees, staring at me with wide eyes. You saved me. I nodded. I don't want enemies. I want peace. Her eyes filled, anger draining away, replaced by something raw, respect. She lowered her gaze. You truly are Luna. The wolves bowed. All of them, one by one, until only Cade remained standing. He stepped toward me, eyes burning. Not as an alpha, not as a warrior, as a man in love. He touched my cheek gently. You're not mine because of fate, he whispered. You're mine because you chose me. I smiled, tears slipping free. And I choose you, I whispered, voice steady. In every lifetime. He finally kissed me. Slow at first, then desperate, consuming, full of everything we had survived. The pack howled in approval, snow swirling like stars around us. When we finally pulled apart, breathless, Cade lifted my hand to his lips and whispered against my skin, my Luna. I threaded my fingers through his and whispered back, my Alpha. And for the first time, I wasn't lost. I wasn't prey. I wasn't hunted. I was home.